Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Kids Time. It's so great to be together again this morning. And I'm so glad you're joining me from the playground right here at St. Paul. I'm Rebekah, the Children, Youth, and Family Director here at St. Paul Lutheran Church in Missoula. And this week, our Bible story comes again from the Gospel of Matthew. And just like last week's story, you might have heard this one before, but let's read it together. If you have a Spark Bible, I would invite you to pause this video and go and grab it so that you can follow along with me. And if you have a Spark Bible, you can open it to page 294 to a story called Walking on Water. So let's read the story together. The disciples were just waking up on their boat. They had been out on the water all night. Yawn, stretch. It was so early, the sun wasn't even up yet. Andrew rubbed his eyes and looked into the fog. "Hey," he whispered, "do you see what I see?" "Ooh, it's a ghost," James cried in fear. The disciples were shaking in their sandals. They were terrified. Through the fog, they could see the outline of a person walking on the water. It was Jesus. "Don't be afraid, it's just me," Jesus said. He waved a friendly hello. "If it's really you, Jesus, tell me to walk on the water," Peter said bravely. "Okay," Jesus shrugged. "Come on out, Peter. The water's fine." Gulp. Peter swallowed hard. He placed one foot onto the water. Plop! It didn't go under. He tried the other foot. Plop! He was standing. He kept his eyes glued on Jesus as he took a few careful steps. He walked faster and faster. Splish, splash! Only his feet were getting wet. Jesus smiled at him. Peter felt the wind blowing on his face. He took his eyes off Jesus and looked up at the dark clouds. He felt afraid. Uh-oh, his ankles were wet. Uh-oh, his knees were wet. Uh-oh, Peter was sinking. "Help me, Jesus, save me," he yelled. Jesus reached out his hand and pulled Peter out of the sea. "Why did you stop looking at me?" Jesus asked, holding tightly to his friend. "Don't you trust me?" The wind stopped. They climbed into the boat full of cheering disciples. "Hooray, this proves it," they said. "You really are the Son of God." From that day on, the disciples were excited to tell everyone they met about the power of Jesus. Thanks for following along in that story with me. What was the biggest surprise for you in that story? If you're watching this video with someone, pause it and share your surprise with them, or ask them what their surprise was in that story. My biggest surprise was that Peter even got out of the boat. I mean, Jesus told him to come, and he just did it. I think I would be so scared. What if Peter fell on the way out of his boat? Or what if the storm swallowed him up when he got out? Or what if Jesus disappeared and just left him in the water? Oh, hold on, wait a minute. I think Jesus is calling on my shoe phone. I gotta pick it up. Yes, hello? Jesus? Yeah, it's me. Hold on a second, you want me to do what? No, I don't think so. Are you sure? Ugh. Okay, I guess I can try. I'll do my best, Jesus. Wow, I can't believe Jesus called while we were talking about this story. He said I should offer to help my next door neighbor mow their yard. I mean, just yesterday I did see them really yanking on the lawnmower it looked like it was broken. But to tell you the truth, I really don't want to. They look kind of mean. They never say hi to me, they never smile. And their dog is big and barks really loud at me. I'm a little scared of them. But Jesus asked me to do it. So I guess I'm going to. This whole Jesus call on my shoe phone really reminds me of our story today. About Jesus calling Peter to do something even though Peter was scared to. You know, I think Jesus does that sometimes. Jesus asks us to trust him and do the things he asks us to do, even when they're scary or they don't totally make sense. Now, Jesus doesn't really call us on the phone, right? But through stories in the Bible and through praying, we can start to understand what Jesus might be wanting us to do to help share God's love. And because of stories like the one we read today, we know that we can trust Jesus. He's never going to let us sink. Thanks so much for watching Kids Time today. It's always so wonderful to be together. We've officially started our last month of the Summer Activity Club. So if you haven't checked it out or you've been away for a few weeks, make sure to give it a look this week. You can find it on the St. Paul website or the St. Paul app. And I'll see you back here next week. Bye, friends.